when he leaves, he'll have been there for nearly 9 years. He's been the figurehead, the face of the club for all that time. How big a hole is he going to leave at Anfield?
Oh, massive. Absolutely huge. I think you only have to watch and see what Klopp does and what he brings to Liverpool, the football club. You know, I think everyone yesterday felt really like we'd lost someone, which we have in the Premier League, because he's been a character. He's had a great rapport with the fans, the players. You only need to see him after games, his passion, his smile, his glasses, his hats, you know, them teeth that always seem to come out because he's so happy. And, there's not many characters that are left in the game, and Jurgen Klopp's definitely one of them. I think you only have to look at what he's actually done at the football club. He's bought silverware, which I think, you know, you go into a football club of that stature and you have to produce, you have to get the numbers right, and that's what he's done. I mean, it's going to be a massive loss for the football club, and how they replace him is, well, I mean, I think they could bring anyone into the football club. I think that job being available, who would not want to go in and inherit that football club and that squad of players that's available come the end of the season, because it's some big boots to fill, particularly that they've got the quad, possibly that they could go and win. And then you have to ask yourself, someone's got to come in and replicate that again. So the pressure's going to be on. It's not only Klopp, it's the back staff that are going to lead the club as well, the sporting director and people like that, you know, manufacture and take the club forward. So it's massive, and it's a massive loss for the Premier League and Liverpool. And you only see the social media stuff that fans are devastated. I'm sure the players are too.
Yeah, I mean, we'll look forward and see who might take over for him in a bit. But just looking back, it's worth just reminding ourselves of what he's achieved in those 8.5 years at Liverpool, and why he is loved by those Liverpool fans. Premier League title, FA Cup and League Cup in the same season, the Champions League, of course, along with those UEFA Super Cups and FIFA Club World Cups, personal accolades, 9 Premier League Manager of the Month, 2 Manager of the Years. I mean, it's seriously impressive, Clinton. When you think back to Liverpool managers over the years, and I guess the Premier League era as a whole, where do you rank him?
Listen, there's been a lot of top quality Liverpool managers. It's difficult to rank him. One thing I know for sure is, as Hendo said, he'll be missed. He's a character. I like managers that are characters. You're always going to get different kind of characters. Listen, I'd have loved to have played for a manager like Jurgen Klopp, because I think he could get the best out of players. You can see every time he's celebrating, he kicks every ball, he's involved in everything. And not every manager's like that, because if you look probably at Pep Guardiola sometimes, he's a bit different. So they are different managers, but he's a superb manager. And he's done everything at Liverpool. I was surprised, though. When I was at home yesterday and someone said, "Have you heard the news?" I was like, "What do you mean? There's nothing, no news ain't broke," because I was watching something else and they said Jurgen Klopp's leaving, and I obviously couldn't believe it. Absolutely was stunned, to be fair, with the news that Jurgen Klopp, he will be missed, because I think he's a character and we want the best managers in the Premier League, but he thinks the time's right for him. But you can see, look what he's done, and his win percentage there at Liverpool, 62%. It's fantastic, to be fair. And you know what he does, Jules? They bring players to that football club and they improve players. If you look at someone like one of their best signings they've made, Andy Robertson, look how good he is when he left Hull, and he's gone there and he's been a fantastic player. So huge credit must go to Jurgen Klopp. He will be missed.
And the big news is really you were at home on a day off and weren't working. I mean, that's the big story. Oh, he was working last night, was he? Of course he was, yes.
Yeah, but no, listen.
Moving on.
No, I'm not moving on. You can't throw that at me. And I was busy. I was busy. Yeah, I was just chilling.
All right, okay.
I can't believe you can't. I had no comeback.
Gary, I mean, most managers get told when it's time to go, don't they? This is his decision. He leaves on his terms. You know all about the demands of management. Do you empathise with him when he says he's running out of energy, he just needs a break?
Yeah, I think when you've been anywhere for a long time, I think particularly when you're a really emotional manager like Jurgen Klopp, when he almost, gives himself completely, in terms of that energy that he creates with the players, with the fans, and when you're having to do that every single Monday morning, you go in and you've got to lift the place if you've lost. You've got to lift players that have not been in the team. You've got to have those difficult conversations every time with players if they're not in a team who you've supported and you want to be successful. And even just looking at these moments, the energy required, just, think about these moments, and then 30 minutes later when you're sat in the dressing room having time to think. And I don't think you can do that forever. I think every club's different, but when you've been at a club for as long as he had, I mean, he was 7 years at Mainz, 7 years at Dortmund, and now, 8 years at Liverpool or whatever it is. So you can understand at some point you need to make that decision to walk away and re-energise, and also spend time with your family, because people don't realise, like, it's your family that end up suffering. Don't see a lot of you, which in my family's case is probably a positive. But I don't see a lot of you, and you're up and down the motorway, and even when you're in conversations, you know, or you're watching a school play, you're thinking about your team and you're thinking about those conversations, and it is all consuming. So I can understand. I'm slightly surprised. I think last year would have been a little bit of a prelude to it. I'm sure there'd have been times last year when he maybe felt, you know, this is the right thing to do, but maybe it's not the right timing, and I'd rather go out when the team are at least on top, and a better reflection of what Jurgen Klopp has produced at Liverpool, which is a successful team over the years.
Yeah, and obviously he's spoken about wanting to give the club time, Sue, to plan for a successor to him. But as Gary mentioned, you know, it comes at a time when they're well placed for a great season. They're leading the Premier League. They're through to one cup final. There's 2 other tournaments they're going in as well. I mean, this news, if you're one of those Liverpool players yesterday, will have come as an absolute hammer blow. Which way could this go? Is there a danger the season could unravel?
I don't think Jurgen Klopp would let it unravel. I agree with Gary in terms of the timing surprised me. I think that the fact that he'd obviously signed that contract extension, he spoke about Liverpool 2.0, didn't he? He'd rebuilt the forward line, he'd rebuilt the midfield. Yes, they're in a very good position in the league. They're obviously in the cup competitions as well. But I spoke to a lot of Liverpool fans yesterday, and some of the older ones were saying it was on a par when Shankly resigned, and they said they felt like a similar sort of feeling there. But then they looked at what happened then, you know, the fact that Paisley came in and they were even more successful. So I think they can look at it in a positive that Jurgen Klopp's actually left this club in a really good position, so the next manager that comes in can take them forward and they can win even more. So I think you could look at it both ways. Of course, the players are going to miss him. They're going to miss that energy. He's so charismatic. The fact that, yes, he has improved players coming in, and you think of players the likes of Mo Salah, what will happen to his future. But I think they'll just be so grateful for what he's given them, and the next manager that comes in, like say, in a great position to move Liverpool forward.
Dawes, I was thinking about, you know, the impact when Sir Alex left Manchester United. Now, I know he was there for a lot longer and had the dynasty and stuff, but they've still not recovered. Is there any danger that we could see something similar at Liverpool?
Possibly. But, I mean, you've got to get the right person in charge, and that's the million-dollar question now. Where do you go and find that person that's trying to going to continue what Jurgen Klopp has started out, brought the Premier League back after over 30 years. He's done an incredible job. And I was, for the first couple of hours yesterday, thinking, why has he done it now? And then I've gone back and thought, do you know what? He deserves all the credit. He was always going to leave on his terms. He's leaving the football club in a better place than what he came in. And he said, I'm not going to help in deciding who's the next manager. But it just gives him an advantage and a head start to say, right, who is that going to be? And I don't see it being the same as Manchester United. No, I don't. I think this group of players and whoever comes in, for me at this moment in time, Xabi Alonso would be the right fit. The link with the football club, what he's doing at Leverkusen, is remarkable. But in 3 months, that might be different. 3 or 4 months, it could be completely different. Roberto De Zerbi, whoever gets that job is going into an unbelievable football club with all the history, and he's got the players there to try and carry on. Might change philosophy. Jurgen Klopp went to Liverpool and all attacking. Well, how is he going to carry on with this? And it took him that time. I love the way, I probably look back to when he's one who walked around the pitch at the end of the game. Managers never used to do that. 8 years ago, you clap your fans and off you go. He sort of galvanised, and managers and players have continued that. So he's going to be a huge loss. Incredible what he's done, and good luck to him for the rest of the season. It'll be an incredible finish.
I miss the fist pumping. I love all of that. You know, when you walk away. I've never been a manager, but I used to love being involved with the fans. But that fist pumping, I'll miss that. Yeah, I'll miss that.
He did it at Dortmund, didn't he? He was never in the Premier League or anywhere in England. You see everyone now going round and going, right, we've got to appreciate the fans. Have always turned up and get behind these amount of managers and players now I see going fist pumping when they win. Yeah. Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, it's the fist pumps at the end, and it's the players, the embraces of the players at the end as well. And this is where it comes down to getting someone who can build that relationship with the players. And now they've lost that relationship with Jurgen Klopp, or they will be losing that relationship. What does it mean for the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold, for Mo Salah, for Virgil van Dijk, who all I think about 18 months left on their contracts? Now we start to ask, well, what does this mean for them, Lee?
Yeah, well, it does, and it's not. I mean, it's obviously them, but it's the new man that's going to come in charge, isn't it? And that's where the big questions are. And like I said, when you've got a rapport with a manager, I mean, we've all been in changing rooms, and if you've got someone that's give you game time and give you time. You don't want to lose that manager because you know that you're really starting again. I just think that they have to get it right. And listen, we're talking about, Xabi Alonso coming in and Dorsey's right. He ticks all the boxes at this moment in time. But I think to even come anywhere close to what Klopp brings to a changing room, what he brings to the players, and he's not shy to do that. He's almost like one of the players, isn't he? And that's where I think the game's changed so much, is that, Klopp is the 12th man in that changing room. And yes, that's his job to do and galvanise players, but he gets the best out of players, as Clinton says.
You know what you say, sorry to interrupt, when foreign players come over and it takes a bit of time to adjust, Jurgen Klopp is a foreign manager. He's come to Liverpool. He's bought into Liverpool. He's bought into the community. He's bought into the fan base. And you see there when he's so passionate about the game. And that's why I was going to say managers are different. Guys would see on the touchline. There's other managers that are nice and quiet and not as frantic as it. But I like that Jurgen Klopp style. He's passionate and he's bought into it.